Precinct 4 team members, if you could raise your hand. I see so many of them. Thank you for your service. I especially want to thank our Precinct 4 Trailblazer team. Can you all raise your hands extra high for all of the work that you did to make this happen? They work wonders every day all around the precinct, and they are the best trailblazing team in the state of Texas. So thank you so very much. I'm thankful to the Energy Corridor, especially Elijah Williams and all of your team members who are here. I am so thankful to Shell for their partnership, especially Ms. LeBlanc. Thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to working together for many years to come with the district, with Shell, and all of the partners in Precinct 4. The reason I'm so excited to be here today is I believe deeply in creating a sense of place, creating a point where people can come together as a community and not only enjoy green space, but enjoy each other's company, where we can learn from each other, where we can come together and unite. Another reason I am so excited to be here is, to me, this is a symbol of sustainability. This is a symbol that Harris County will not only continue to be the global leader of energy, period, we will also continue to be the global leader for the energy transition. I see it as a both and. And when I sit here and enjoy this beautiful space at Terry Hershey, I think of my 3 daughters. We were all talking about our kids earlier. The challenges that sometimes the teenage years give us. But when I think of the joy and family time in our parks and in our community centers, when I think of the time with my team that we spend having community events, there's this great power of green space to be an equalizer, to be a place of the past that brings memories of childhood and beyond. It is a place of present where you can enjoy the company of those around you. And it is a place of the future, because it is incumbent upon all of us, for our children and grandchildren, that we preserve and protect the green space that we have, and that we celebrate it in a way that is sustainable. So the fact that we have this 40-foot mural painted on repurposed a shipping container, the fact that the furniture, the benches, are made from upcycled wind turbine blades, the symbolism is profound, and I love it. And I look forward to creating more of these all around the Energy Corridor and all around Precinct 4. And I'll end with 2 points. Harris County, as a governmental entity, wants to partner. I think the government is a small piece of this, but it is in partnership with the community, with our schools, with our places of worship, with the private sector, with all levels of government, that we can get so much more done. So I challenge ourselves, I challenge each other to make sure we're finding these points of unity, finding these both ands, finding these ways to celebrate the past, unite in the present, but making sure we're being as purposeful and strategic about the future. And Harris County, for the first time, I was proud to vote on the Harris County Climate Action Plan, the first one in Harris County government's history, with the goal of 40% reduction of the county's emissions by 2030. So again, a step in the right direction. I'm so thankful that the EPA recently gave Harris County a $1.6 million grant for climate justice. I'm so energized by the fact that the Department of Energy chose this region for the $1.2 billion for the hydrogen hub. There's so much momentum with all of the partners in this room, figurative room, and I'm incredibly thankful for your partnership. And I want to celebrate this moment in the present, but to me, it's the symbolism of how we're going to continue to lead as a region for the foreseeable and for all of the future. So on behalf of my children, your children, and our future grandchildren, I want to say thank you for your partnership. And I see some of our partners from our Constable Precinct 5, Constable Ted Heap's office. I want to salute you and thank you for your service. And Constable Heap and the other 2 constables we have in Precinct 4, Constable Herman and Constable Rosen, thank you for keeping us safe, because I think also in this celebration of our community space, making sure we all feel safe as we unite is fundamentally important. So thank you for your service and sacrifice. We stand in solidarity with you. And as we take a moment to take this in, again, I'm just profoundly grateful for your partnership. As I reach the end of year one of my administration, I have been energized by what we've accomplished, but the best is yet to come. So again, to the Energy Corridor District, thank you, thank you, thank you. To Shell, thank you. To the wonderful Harris County Precinct 4 team members that I have the joy of working with every day. You inspire me, and I look forward to much more in terms of the work that we have yet to do. So with that, we will next hear from the fabulous Ms. LeBlanc, the General Manager of Commercial Innovation Partnerships at Shell.
Thank you so much to Commissioner Briones, Elijah, for your leadership with the Energy Corridor District. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. So I feel like I don't need to say anything because you said so much in your opening remarks that really resonate with me. The first being daughters and children and our future generation. So I grew up in Houston, so I grew up playing in Houston parks. I grew up with Shell as, a part of the community. And so it's a bit in my DNA. My daughter recently, this has been about 2 months ago, she came home and she gave me this sticker, those vinyl stickers you put on your computers. And there's a picture of a bumblebee and it says, "If we die, we're taking you with us." Now that is an extreme example, not, bringing death into it, but her understanding at 14 about the ecosystem and about this circle of life and the importance of the bees and the frogs and the ants and all that comes together for our communities, our climate. I was really proud because most days I look at my teenagers and think, what am I raising? So this was a proud moment. And so with Shell, the work we do in partnering with our communities, it's essential to who we are as a company. It's in the DNA of our company. So thank you for the invitation and that we were able to seize this opportunity to partner together. One of our strategic pillars is respecting nature. So that includes things like reducing the amount of waste that's generated. It also includes where there are opportunities to reuse and recycle what comes from our businesses and from our supply chains. So we work actively with our partners there. You'll hear a reoccurring theme that I talk quite a bit about our partners because it's essential and vital that we work together to develop these solutions that on the surface may seem very tiny, small, and incremental, but what it does is, number one, it has an exponential impact when you put it all together. But number two, it seeds the thinking in our minds, in the minds of our children, in the minds of our communities about how we apply this thinking around reduce, reuse, and recycle. So let me give you a few Shell stats. Most people, when they think about Shell, they think about gas stations. And yes, that is a big part of Shell and who we are. But we also generate power. So the wind turbines that you're seeing, or the products of these wind turbines, what you're seeing is our commitment to coming up with this circular. How can we behave in this circular way where we're taking materials that already exist? These wind turbine blades are at the end of their life. So wind turbine blades have about a 20 to 30 year life cycle. And because of the fiberglass that's built into them, we have to think about, okay, what's next? They can't just sit in a landfill. So creating things like the park benches, there are different ways that we can use fiberglass for highway signs and bridges. So many purposes, we just have to have the curiosity, the wherewithal, and the mindset to make these things happen. So in addition to gas stations, yes, we generate power. We actually go back to 2001. That was our first investment in an onshore wind farm here in the US. And currently today we have 3 sites that we're invested in. And one of those is right here in Texas. In addition, we also are invested in things like biofuels for sustainable aviation, EV charging, and solar. So this is a situation where there's not one solution as we go on this energy transition challenge journey. It is very much a story of and. So we all have a part to play in that. So let me tell you a bit about how this idea came into fruition. I have been with Shell my entire career, which is 28 years now. I'm going to start saying that proudly and not, oh gosh, they're going to do the math and figure out how old I am. So, been with Shell my entire career. What we do within the company, our people are our biggest asset because our people are passionate, they're intellectually curious, and they put that passion, curiosity, and innovation into action. So we have a team called Future Energy Leaders who basically led this idea. This is something that's not their sole job. This is their night job, so to speak, right? They have their day jobs, but this is something that the team came up with and they were charged to find a solution. And this was a very creative one. And I have to say, it started at point A and it went in a different direction, which is the spirit of innovation. So I would like to say a big thank you to the Future Energy Leaders, some who are here from Shell, for coming up with this idea, for working with Canvas, who is the furniture manufacturer behind what you're seeing there. Let's see, I want to make sure I don't leave out anything. This is one of those areas I'm super passionate in. I usually don't have notes, but today, I wanted to not go off script and have my Shell colleagues fuss at me. So I want to say, again, a big thank you. We are honored to be here. We are honored to be a part, Shell, be a part of the Houston community. We are honored to be on this journey together as we talk from the city of Houston perspective about becoming the, energy transition capital of the world. The focus on economy and the focus on cleaner energy solutions is something that we can work on together, partner on together, collaborate, innovate, and I look forward to a continued relationship in this space. So thank you very much for having us here.
And now we will hear from the Executive Director of the Energy Corridor District, Mr. Elijah Williams.
Good morning. Can y'all hear me? All right. Really glad to be here. Thank you to Commissioner Briones and the team for hosting us. The Commissioner welcomed y'all to Terry Hershey. I want to welcome you to Houston's Energy Corridor. We're really glad to have you all here with us today to celebrate what I think is an exciting occasion, what I would also call the dedication of Energy Hill at Terry Hershey Park. The Energy Corridor District is the business district, the special district, the management district, whatever you want to call us, responsible for Houston's Energy Corridor. Houston's Energy Corridor represents Houston's leadership as the energy capital of the world and its continued leadership down that spectrum as it will be the energy transition capital of the world. And we're excited to play our role in being responsible for this place, helping to drive business, retain business, create great public spaces, bring good infrastructure, and ultimately tell the story of the energy corridor. And I think what we are doing here at Terry Hershey today with Energy Hill is a great example of that work and also a testament to partnership. I think we've said it a couple of times today, and I'm going to say it again, right? Energy Hill represents collaborative public-private partnership. It's the opportunity for us to tell the story of energy and also adaptive reuse and demonstrate it here. And so today we are doing that with the district's inaugural 40-foot public art mural that stands behind me, as well as the upcycle site furniture provided by Shell. And again, I think it's an exciting occasion. I do want to thank Commissioner Briones and see Buddy Ray back there for their commitment raised the head of Precincts for Infrastructure. When we brought this to them, they were all in, no questions asked, and we appreciate that type of alignment. Also, can't leave out the Harris County Precinct 4 team. Mr. Stephen Wright, Mike Connor, Chris Ludwig, as well as the Trailblazers team that constructed this site. They coordinated it, they planned it, and we really appreciate you all's effort to make this happen today. Definitely want to thank our partners from Shell as well. You've already heard from Miss LeBlanc, Mr. Frost helping us coordinate the event as well. And you heard Akila's story of the future energy leaders, and so we appreciate Juhi and Michael and Rashid. Okay, all right. Just want to be sure I'm getting it right. For joining us today. They were the folks who were on the front line helping to coordinate with the energy corridor as well as the county to bring this to life. And I think it's super important to recognize them. Also want to recognize Oscar, who's been at the table with us. Oscar is part of the Shell energy transition team, and Andre's here with us, who's the new vice president of that. And so we really appreciate your partnership, and I'll tell the story of how we kind of got here in just a few. But lastly, just want to thank the Energy Corridor team. Mike Jackson, who is our public realm and special projects manager, for partnering and being on the front line as well. Brandon Whitaker, who's with Clark Condon, who's been a big part of this, and then Zach, Alex, Rachel for all getting today in order. So, how did we get here? This all goes back to, I'll tell my story. I feel like everybody has their story, and it's beautiful. So my story of how we got here goes back to the summer of last year. The Energy Corridor convened a meeting with several of our stakeholders, both Shell, BP. We invited the Greater Houston Partnership, Houston Energy Transition Initiative to the table, Ms. Jane Stricker. We had HARC, the Houston Area Research Center, present, as well as Ms. Priya Zachariah, who's over the city's sustainability and resiliency. And we called that group together to have a conversation simply about the Energy Corridor's role in the future of energy in Houston. You heard what I said at the beginning. Houston's the energy capital of the world, and the Energy Corridor is the driving force behind that. And we wanted to have some discussions around how do we continue to position the Energy Corridor, position Houston, Harris County as a continued leader in energy and in energy transition. And several things we talked about, of course, some of the basic stuff around business recruitment, retention, general economic development. But one of the things we talked about was twofold. How do we tell the story of energy, and how do we demonstrate it? And what better place to demonstrate it than here in the Energy Corridor to tell that story with all of our amazing partners. And it's a real proud moment to be here today, to take a conversation, to then take an idea and bring it into implementation. And so I will just close with, again, we celebrate the fact that we've brought together Harris County, Shell, the Energy Corridor, in the spirit of public-private partnership. And we are telling the story of energy. We are demonstrating the story of energy here at Energy Hill in Terry Hershey Park. But most importantly, I think we are giving the people of Harris County Precinct 4 in the Energy Corridor an awesome public space where they can come interact and feel and be in community with one another. So really great occasion. Again, thank you to the commissioner. Thank you to Shell for hosting us today. And let's cut a ribbon, I think.